Alien Empire uncovers the secret behind why no one dares to attack Earth. Top HFY stories. The Zarnok Dominion was one of the most powerful alien empires in the galaxy. A vast interstellar nation with advanced technology, boundless resources, and a formidable military. They had conquered countless worlds. Yet, there was one planet they had never dared to touch, Earth. For centuries, the Zarnok had watched Earth from afar, curious but wary. Despite the wealth of intelligence gathered by their spies and their sophisticated surveillance technologies, they could never figure out why no other civilization seemed willing to attack this small, seemingly insignificant blue world. Earth was just one of billions of planets in the galaxy, and yet no empire had ever set its sights on it in earnest. When Emperor Zorith IV issued the decree to finally understand this peculiar anomaly, the Zarnok Dominion dispatched their finest scientists and military strategists. Their task was simple: uncover why Earth had been left untouched despite its apparent vulnerability. What was so special about this primitive, backwater planet that had caused every other empire to steer clear? The investigation began with a deep dive into Earth's history, a task that seemed, at first, rather mundane. Earth had been a planet of squabbling nations, primitive wars, and growing technological prowess. What could possibly have made it so different from countless other worlds the Zarnok had encountered? The scientists pored over Earth's historical records, analyzing wars, rebellions, and their social structure. They found humans to be a species that, while not particularly advanced compared to other galactic civilizations, was resilient and creative in unexpected ways. They discovered Earth's history was filled with seemingly insurmountable challenges, plagues, famine, natural disasters, and even near-extinction events, but humanity always managed to bounce back. But it wasn't until the Zarnok researchers focused on Earth's concept of humanity that they began to uncover the unsettling truth. Human beings, they learned, were bound by an unyielding drive to survive, adapt, and protect their own. But what truly set them apart, what truly made them terrifying, was something no alien species had ever encountered: the phenomenon of the human spirit. The scientists were perplexed at first. They studied countless records of human struggle and triumph, noting how Earth's people had an innate tendency to come together in the face of extinction-level threats. They were not just survivors, they were warriors in every sense of the word. When pushed to the brink, they fought not just for their survival, but for their families, their communities, and their very identity. In one recorded event, the humans had sent a spacecraft to the moon, a feat many other species would have laughed off as primitive. Yet, when faced with the threat of global annihilation, the humans, with all their imperfections, had formed alliances and fought off aggressors across both their own world and beyond. They had even faced powerful forces like disease, internal strife, and even the most terrifying weaponry, and not only did they endure, but they innovated. But what alarmed the Zarnok researchers the most were the myths and stories Earth's people told each other, stories of heroes who defied impossible odds, who were willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. These heroes were often ordinary people who, in the face of overwhelming adversity, would rise up and stand against forces far stronger than themselves. The stories of the human race were a testament to their ability to unite and fight against insurmountable odds. The tipping point came when the Zarnok scientists stumbled upon an ancient tale, the Battle of Earth, a story of human defiance against an overwhelming alien force in the distant past. It was said that when Earth was faced with a massive alien invasion, the human spirit united the planet in a way that no alien force could understand. The invaders, though technologically superior, were not prepared for the savagery, cunning, and sheer willpower of the human defenders. The story was legendary, but the Zarnok were starting to believe it wasn't just a myth, it was real. As the research team delved deeper into human culture, they discovered something even more profound: Earth's warriors, whether soldiers, scientists, or civilians, fought with an unrelenting ferocity. They didn't just defend their planet, they made the invaders regret every second of their invasion. The Zarnok had underestimated the human capacity for destruction when provoked. Their enemies often forgot that Earth's people didn't just fight to protect their home. They fought because their survival was sacred, and this spirit was contagious. Even when Earth seemed on the brink of collapse, humanity could unite, innovate, and innovate again. Their ability to adapt and fight through adversity had created the most dangerous form of warfare known in the galaxy, the unstoppable will of a united human race. The Zarnok Dominion's military strategists were horrified by this realization. They had faced many formidable species in their time, but none of them possessed this terrifying, near-mystical quality of perseverance and unity. They came to a chilling conclusion: Earth was not a planet to be invaded or conquered. Instead, it was a planet to be avoided at all costs. The Zarnok understood now why no other empire had dared to invade Earth. They had all underestimated the humans. Where most species would have crumbled under similar pressures, Earth's people came together, overcoming their weaknesses with sheer will and an unshakable determination. And so, with this newfound understanding, the Zarnok Dominion issued a decree across the galaxy: the Earth must remain untouched. No one, not even the mightiest empire, could risk provoking the raw, unpredictable fury of the human race. The story of Earth, as uncovered by the Zarnok, would become a tale told across the galaxy for generations to come. It wasn't the advanced technology of Earth's people that had kept them safe. It wasn't their military power or vast resources. It was something far more terrifying: the strength of their will, the power of their unity, and the unrelenting force of their spirit. The Zarnok Dominion, and many other empires, would learn this lesson the hard way. Earth was not just a world of fragile beings. It was a world that fought, bled, and survived, and no one, no matter how powerful, would dare to challenge them again. The end, the aftermath, Earth's legacy across the galaxy. News of the Zarnok Dominion's discovery spread like wildfire throughout the galaxy. The story of Earth's indomitable spirit became the stuff of legend, repeated in hushed tones by diplomats, warriors, and scholars from countless star systems. The Zarnok, though a mighty force, were not the only empire to witness the raw tenacity of humanity. Earth's reputation had already been slowly building for years, but now it had reached a tipping point. Other civilizations took notice. For decades, Earth had been an insignificant blip on the galactic map, a small, barely known world nestled in the outer rim. But after the Zarnok report became public, it was clear: Earth was not to be underestimated. The message was clear, and it echoed through the void of space: never provoke Earth. In the months that followed the Zarnok's findings, other galactic powers began to assess their own interactions with Earth. The Vrenker Collective, a species known for their militaristic and expansionist tendencies, immediately halted their border incursions toward Earth's sector. Their leaders had read the reports, and they knew the danger of pushing Earth too far. The Vrenker knew firsthand what it was like to suffer a surprise retaliation from an underestimated species. They had been the victims of humanity's fury in the past, during the first contact skirmishes when Earth had barely emerged from its primitive stage. Similarly, the Tsor Empire, an ancient civilization with vast fleets, found themselves reconsidering their expansionist policies. They had once dismissed Earth as a weak, backward world, barely able to defend itself. But the Zarnok reports had confirmed what the Tsor had always feared: humanity's unexpected resilience was a threat. The Tsor leaders discussed it in their highest councils, and the decision was unanimous: Earth would remain untouched. The most significant shift, however, came from the Itter Confederation. This conglomerate of high-tech species had made its fortune through the exploitation of weaker worlds. However, they had heard the tales of Earth's resistance during the early days of contact. Tales that painted humans as unpredictable, capable of turning the tables even in the most desperate of circumstances. Now, with the Zarnok's findings spreading across the Confederation, the Itter military leaders convened a special task force to develop a defense protocol specifically aimed at avoiding any conflict with Earth. They even began to study human psychology, trying to understand the relentless drive that fueled the species' will to survive. Across the galaxy, humans were beginning to take on a new role, no longer the naive and fragile species they had once been perceived as. Earth had become a symbol of what could happen when a species reached the brink of annihilation and still found a way to fight back. To the galactic empires, humanity represented a paradox. They were both a potential ally and a formidable foe. The stories of their victories were written into the very fabric of galactic history. Yet, while many empires reeled from the revelations about Earth, the humans themselves remained largely unaware of the full extent of their growing reputation. Earth continued its path of self-discovery and development, with its citizens unaware that their collective willpower had earned them an untouchable status in the eyes of intergalactic powers. But even so, humanity was changing, as Earth entered a new phase of exploration, sending its first true colony ships into the stars. The leaders of Earth's space programs knew there was something far more significant at play than the usual pursuit of knowledge or resources. Humanity had begun to embrace a new, unified purpose, to ensure the survival and well-being of Earth, no matter the cost. The Earth that the galaxy now feared was a planet that would stop at nothing to protect its home. Earth had become more than just a world among others. It was a bastion of resistance, a symbol of perseverance in the face of overwhelming odds. The people of Earth were more than survivors, they were warriors of the spirit, creators of an unstoppable force that could shake the very foundations of the galaxy if pushed too far. A new era of peace. For now, peace reigned between Earth and the galactic powers. The whispers of the human spirit echoed in the halls of alien empires, and it became a point of pride for Earth's leaders. But deep down, many knew that the future was uncertain. Earth had survived countless battles, both internal and external, and had come out stronger each time. But there were still those who wondered, would there ever be a true test of the human will? Would there ever be a threat great enough to challenge the galaxy's newfound fear of Earth? As humanity reached out to explore the stars, they carried with them a hidden weapon, one that no fleet of warships could ever match. The Zarnok Dominion had learned the truth, but the rest of the galaxy would soon learn the same lesson. Humanity was not a species to be conquered, but one to be respected. To challenge Earth was to risk awakening the full, terrifying power of the human spirit. And in the deepest reaches of space, across alien worlds, the legacy of Earth's survival would continue to echo. The end. The spark of a new war, Earth's first challenge. While the galaxy settled into a delicate balance of peace, there were always those who couldn't resist the allure of power. The Zarnok's cautionary tale had created a sense of unease among the more ambitious empires, but not every species shared the same reverence for Earth's power. Some, fueled by arrogance, began to test the boundaries of this uneasy peace, confident that they could find a way to undermine the human spirit. One such faction was the Crux Collective, a species known for their cunning and manipulation. The Crux had long harbored dreams of subjugating Earth and reaping its vast potential. They saw the human spirit as nothing more than an obstacle, a primitive superstition that could be manipulated or broken. They had long avoided direct confrontation. But now, with the Zarnok's report circulating throughout the galaxy, they saw an opportunity to strike before Earth's reputation could solidify further. The Crux had a plan: divide and conquer. They would infiltrate Earth, sow discord among its nations, and then strike at the heart of humanity's unity. They believed that if they could fracture the human will, Earth's greatest strength, they could easily dominate the planet and claim it for their own. The Crux set their scheme into motion, subtly influencing Earth's politics and economy. They infiltrated trade routes, created false narratives, and stoked the flames of old rivalries between Earth's superpowers. Their goal was simple: to make Earth forget what made them strong, to make them lose trust in each other and in their ability to fight as one. At first, it seemed as though the Crux might succeed. Nations began to turn inward, focusing on their own interests rather than on the greater good of Earth. Economic instability spread, and political chaos threatened to tear the world apart. But the Crux had miscalculated. What they failed to understand was the very thing that made humanity resilient in the first place. When pushed to the edge, humans didn't just unite, they innovated. As the Crux set their final stages of their plan in motion, they unknowingly triggered the very thing they feared most: the awakening of the human spirit. A network of independent hackers, who had been quietly working to protect Earth from foreign influence, uncovered the Crux plot. Instead of retreating into isolation, as the Crux had hoped, Earth's people began to unite once again. Leaders, despite their differences, set aside their grudges for the greater good of the planet. The economic systems that had been manipulated began to restabilize as Earth's brightest minds came together to expose and eliminate the external threats. The Crux Collective, seeing their plan unravel, made their move: an overwhelming cyber attack designed to cripple Earth's global infrastructure. But they had underestimated one crucial factor: Earth's adaptability. Rather than succumbing to the attack, Humanity fought back with a strength that no one, not even the Crux, could have predicted. The hackers, engineers, and military strategists of Earth responded with a level of coordination and ingenuity that stunned even the Crux. Every time the invaders adapted, the humans responded with new, creative solutions. The collective's initial advantage quickly evaporated as Earth's defenses rallied and adapted, using methods that no alien species had ever seen before. In the midst of this battle, Earth's leaders sent a message to the Crux Collective. You have made a grave mistake. Humanity will not fall. We will fight. We will endure. And we will never be divided. The message was broadcast to the entire galaxy. The Crux, shocked by the unbreakable unity of Earth's people, were forced to retreat. They could no longer manipulate the situation. Their strategy had failed. Earth had proven once again that the strength of their spirit, their resilience, and their ability to adapt and innovate was beyond the reach of any conqueror. But the Crux were not the only ones watching. The galaxy had learned two important lessons from Earth's first real challenge. First, humanity's unity and willpower could not be shattered, even by the most insidious external threats. Second, the galaxy's great empires could no longer afford to underestimate Earth. This victory, though sweet, was only the beginning. Earth's reputation had now been cemented across the galaxy as the most unpredictable and dangerous species. And though the Crux had failed, their actions would spark a new wave of ambition among the galaxy's more reckless civilizations. The message from Earth was clear: humanity would no longer be content to simply survive. It would shape its own future, and it would defend that future with everything it had. As the dust settled, a new era dawned for Earth. Humanity had not only survived its first true interstellar challenge, it had triumphed. And now, the galaxy would face a new question: what happens when you challenge a species that refuses to be broken? The answer would come sooner than anyone expected. But for now, Earth stood resolute, a shining beacon of defiance, a symbol of the power of the human spirit. The end. The dawn of Earth's galactic influence. The Crux Collective's failed assault was just one chapter in Earth's growing reputation across the galaxy. The victory was not just about withstanding an attack, it was about humanity's demonstration of resolve, unity, and unexpected ingenuity. While most empires underestimated Earth, thinking of it as a small, chaotic world, the galaxy was slowly learning that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. In the aftermath of the Crux invasion, Earth's leaders, scientists, and military strategists began to think in terms of not just defense, but expansion. They realized that if they were to truly protect their world and their people, they would need to venture into the stars. No longer was Earth content to be an isolated planet on the fringes of galactic politics. They would take their place among the stars. The first step was strengthening humanity's military and scientific capabilities. Earth had always been a planet of innovation. But now the race was on to develop new technologies that could not only defend the planet but also ensure it could compete with the more advanced empires that occupied the galaxy. Space programs were turbocharged, with Earth's brightest minds working tirelessly to push the boundaries of exploration. Humanity's first interstellar colony ship, the Endurance, launched just 2 years after the Crux retreat. The mission was clear: to establish a foothold on a nearby planet, one that could serve as a launchpad for further exploration and expansion. The message to the galaxy was simple: Earth was no longer content to simply be left alone. It would shape its own future. But as Earth prepared to take its place in the galactic community, it faced a new challenge, one that was not born from aggression or invasion, but from a sudden shift in the balance of power. The galaxy was a vast and complicated place, filled with species and factions of varying sizes and power. Some, like the Zarnok Dominion and the Tsor Empire, still ruled with iron fists, while others, like the Itter Confederation and the Vrenker Collective, had their own ambitions. But in the wake of the Crux's failed plot, these galactic powers began to re-evaluate their own positions. The revelation that humanity had not only withstood an invasion but had also repelled a major power shift led to a tense atmosphere across the galaxy. The larger empires were forced to consider a new reality. Earth was not just a passive bystander anymore. It had earned its place at the table. The Galactic Council, Earth's first diplomatic challenge. The first official invitation came from the Galactic Council, a diplomatic body that sought to maintain peace and order between the various factions of the galaxy. Comprised of the most powerful and influential species, the Council had a history of controlling galactic affairs, but Earth's entry into this diplomatic arena would be anything but conventional. The Council's invitation came as a shock. The Zarnok, having learned their lesson, now wanted to ensure that humanity would be an ally in future galactic affairs. Their once fearful attitude toward Earth had transformed into cautious respect. The Tsor Empire and the Iter Confederation, though still wary of Earth's potential, realized that they would need to engage with humanity in a more constructive way. But not all empires were so eager to welcome Earth into the fold. The Vrenker Collective, emboldened by their military power, saw Earth's rise as a threat to their dominance. They began to form alliances with fringe groups, hoping to isolate Earth diplomatically and undermine its growing influence. The Crux, having suffered such a crushing defeat, were still licking their wounds, but they, too, sought to weaken Earth's position by spreading propaganda about human weakness and instability. Despite the challenges, Earth's representatives stood firm at the Galactic Council meetings, led by Ambassador Valerie Anderson, the first human envoy to the Council. Earth made it clear that it sought peace, but would never back down from defending its own. The humans at the table were skilled diplomats, well-versed in negotiation, but also fully aware of the political games being played around them. They understood that Earth's future would depend not just on its military might, but on its ability to navigate the shifting tides of galactic politics. The tension was palpable as the Council debates raged on. The larger empires sought to impose their will on Earth, demanding concessions and seeking to control its growing power. But Earth, armed with its unbreakable resolve, pushed back. Ambassador Anderson's voice rang out as she spoke in one of the most defining moments of the meeting. Earth is not a prize to be claimed. We are not to be conquered, manipulated, or divided. We will contribute to this galaxy, but we will do so on our own terms. We will never sacrifice our spirit, our independence, or our future for the sake of your agendas. Her words struck a chord, and though the larger empires could not ignore Earth's emerging influence, they were forced to recognize its power, both in terms of military and political might. The beginning of the galactic rebalance. As Earth's diplomatic influence grew, so did its role in galactic security. Earth's space fleet, once rudimentary and defensive, now represented a force to be reckoned with. Humanity's allies, though few, had proven that Earth could be trusted and that its military capabilities, while still developing, were formidable. The galaxy was beginning to see the emergence of a new power, one that was less concerned with conquest and more focused on preserving balance. However, as Earth's influence expanded, so did the divisions within the galaxy. The larger empires began to fear what Earth's rise meant. Could the established powers retain their dominance in a galaxy where humanity's unpredictable nature had become a factor? Would Earth's quest for justice and autonomy ignite a new wave of revolution across the stars? The next great question for humanity would not come from external enemies, but from within. How would Earth handle the weight of its newfound place among the stars? Would it remain united, or would internal conflict tear it apart? In this vast, chaotic galaxy, humanity had yet to prove that it could hold together under pressure from all sides. But one thing was clear: the galaxy had been irrevocably changed. The old powers, once secure in their dominance, now had to reckon with the fact that Earth had arrived, and it would not be a passive player. The era of human independence had begun, and with it came a new chapter in the galaxy's history. Earth's future, uncertain as it was, would be shaped by its willpower, its resilience, and its determination to never back down. The end, for now.